Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/cheating stories, where OP got his revenge on a cheating ex. Let's begin. I got cheated on and dumped. Posted by Reddit user Elron Mukbang.
Sorry for the long rant, and English is not my native language. I hope it's still understandable. My ex-girlfriend cheated on me with a coworker last year in November at a Christmas party. I didn't know it then because she kept it a secret for 5 staggering months and continued our relationship as if nothing happened. She confessed to me after our relationship was already over. In April this year, she broke up with me. We were together for 3 years and it was a fairly good relationship in my opinion. She ended our relationship because she felt I took her for granted. While that was news to me, she never addressed that. The breakup conversation in total was super weird because she did statements like, "This is probably the biggest mistake I will make in my entire life, and you're still the greatest person in the world to me." These statements rang my hope bells super hard, and I didn't want the breakup because I loved her very much. So what did my stupid ass do? I fought for her, even wrote her a letter to win her back. She read it in my presence, and the first thing to come out her mouth after reading is that she cheated on that Christmas party. It was like a nuke exploded in my head and my world shattered in that moment. I wouldn't have believed in a million years that she's capable of doing something like that. But I swallowed the anger and immense pain that confession triggered in me, because I still was stupidly in love and wanted her back. She partly blamed her super drunken state, said without alcohol it would have never happened, and that she can't even remember most of the sexual interactions they did. And I believed her. I asked her why she didn't tell me right after the infidelity occurred, and her response was because she knew right after that it had zero influence on her feelings for me. That sounded super weird to me, because cheating and love are incompatible in my world, but still I believed that. I even had concerns for her, that the sexual interactions were not consensual due to her super drunken state. So I asked her why she'd tell me after she already broke up with me. I would never have found out. Her response to that, "If we get closer again, it should be on an open and honest basis." This has sparked hope in me again. After that, she said she needed time away from me to think about if she wants to continue our relationship, and I went in no contact for about 2 weeks until I couldn't endure the wait anymore and we talked again. She told me she can't give us a second chance because if it wouldn't work out, she would go through the pain again and hurt me again. No words regarding the broken trust between us. It's like she forgot she cheated on me. She even offered a friendship after that conversation. In hindsight, I dodged a major bullet there. She cheated on me while I was having a depression. Cheating in itself is the worst you can do to a partner, but while he's in his worst mental state ever, what kind of person does that? Of course, I blamed myself for her acting out of our relationship. I told myself it was because of my low libido caused by the depression and my withdrawal from her. But that's bullshit. She didn't even tell me that that's a problem for her. I still feel treated like dirt with this on-off shit. Mixed signals and betrayal, and the suppressed anger is coming out strong. I hope I can trust again in my future relationships.
OP, I want you to listen to this comment by Reddit user Admirable Ad. It's very valuable.
She flings around a bit, but her main reason is she wants something new. She knows eventually it would have come out, so she ends it being a martyr for her love for you. But she hangs around banging the dude of the Christmas party, and if it fails, will be back for a real love because she always loved only you. But this way you cannot hold it against her. My opinion, move on as fast as you can. You're young, risk, date, be free. But she will be back. Never take her back. She probably checking social media to keep tabs. The minute you post in a relationship, she knocks on your door. It's even then.
And now for today's second story. My girlfriend cheated on me with her boss, so I got my revenge. Posted by Reddit user BrainGutted.
Let me start this off by saying that I'm not a very smart guy when it comes to dating. I've been with some questionable women in the past, but my most recent experience really takes the cake. Here's what happened. I started working at a local coffee shop a couple of years ago. I was fresh out of college and needed some pocket money while I waited for my internship to start. It was a simple job, coming in early in the morning to make sure the shop was up to standard, pre-grinding coffee beans and restocking all of the containers and making sure that the place was clean just in case the night shift forgot to do something. Every morning around 8, a woman would come into the store. She was absolutely beautiful, cocoa brown eyes and lush dark hair, always catching my attention when she walked in. Well, she became a regular and we developed a sort of friendship. I knew that she was recently single and living alone a few blocks away, and that she worked in the tall office building downtown. so I assumed she was a little older than me since I never asked her age. After almost a month of half-assed flirting, I sucked up the courage and asked her to come over for dinner as I'm a pretty decent cook. I was surprised when she agreed, and that was that. We started a relationship and kept it going for almost a year before she moved in with me to make the next step. Now, before I get into the actual meat of the story, I have to clarify a couple of things. She was very, very private and always told me that trust is the foundation of all relationships. I agree with this statement wholeheartedly, and we decided to never look through each other's devices. I never went through her drawers in the dresser, her cabinet in the bathroom, or her bags, and always asked before getting something from her purse. She ended up losing her job, and by that point, I was well situated in my career and was making enough money to support us both. So I told her to take it easy for a while, and when she decides to get a new job, I would support her. That's when I began to lose her. I would come home at different times each day, and when I would come home early, she would always send me to the store saying that we needed something. The first few times, I didn't see an issue. I was already on the road, may as well stop at the store. It's when I started to notice that it was every single time I came home before 4 p.m., I'd be sent to the store. Most of the time it was for stuff that we were fully stocked up on, and she would blame it on her being scatterbrained. I would also notice how she would be making the bed constantly, and was getting more and more possessive over her phone. I never looked at it when she got texts, but as soon as it went off, she was there. She would never let me hand her phone or pick it up. Once we got into an entire fight over it that ended up with her staying at her sister's house for the weekend because her privacy doesn't get invaded there. Getting back on track, the only reason I know about any of this is because a couple of weeks ago, she was taking a shower and left her phone on the dresser face down. I was sitting in bed checking my work emails as her phone went off at least 7 times in a row. I was in a bad mood since she had been bickering at me all day and assumed her sister was texting her, and they were talking shit about me, so I got up and looked at her phone. The name that popped up was, changing the name for confidential reasons, Rick. Rick was her old boss, the one that fired her from her job. It definitely wasn't what I was expecting, and it threw me off. My girlfriend had only been in the shower for a couple of minutes, so I did something completely out of character and put in her passcode. I discovered that she had been talking to Rick even before me and her got together. There was so much information to take in that I just took screenshots of everything and sent it to my phone number, then deleted the photos and went so far as to delete them from the recently delete category and deleted all of the texts sent to me. I placed her phone back exactly how it was and moved to the living room to read the texts. I'll spare the details, but all of them were lustful with pictures exchanged back and forth. Some of the pictures she'd sent him were ones she would send to me while I was at work. I felt betrayed and disgusted with her and at myself for not figuring it out sooner. Now, I'd never dealt with a situation quite like this. I hadn't been in very many relationships and had only been cheated on once, but it wasn't anything like this. I waited a couple of days to come up with a plan, and when it hit me, it was so sweet. I took a vacation day off of work but made it seem like I hadn't. Got up at 5, showered, got dressed, grabbed my laptop and left. Like I do each morning, but this day I would be going over to my friend's house and hanging out with him until 3. After leaving his house, I could feel the adrenaline coursing through me. I was nervous, but also excited. I sent my girlfriend a text saying that I wouldn't be home until late tonight, and that I would pick us up some food on my way home, which would hopefully make the scene inside the apartment even more shocking. I rode the elevator up to my floor, and when I reached the door, I decided to add another little kick. As I stood there, I sent her all of the screenshots I had from her phone and waited a minute. I heard a muffled "oh my god" from her, and a "what" from a man inside. I opened the door with a grand "honey, I'm home," and heard frantic shuffling from the bedroom. There stood Rick, suit pants unbuttoned and hunched over trying to slip on his shoes, his hair a mess, and the sheets on my bed disheveled. My girlfriend saw me and just ran to the bathroom, locking herself in. She was shouting at me to leave my own apartment. Rick is smaller than me, so I just grabbed his shoulder and led him to the front door, pushing him outside and locking him out, half naked and with one shoe. The rest played out as you'd imagine. She yelled at me, so I kicked her out and her sister had to come and retrieve her belongings because she was too ashamed to see me. I got monumental apologies from Rick's company and even got some hush money out of it. I decided to keep the information to myself and not tell her family about what happened, but I do know one thing. Never date anyone you meet at a coffee shop.
OP. Never date anyone who thinks privacy and secrecy are the same. She insists that privacy within a relationship is exactly the same as privacy outside of the relationship. Quite obviously, you fucked yourself by agreeing to play this stupid game that don't ask a single thing about who she may well have been hiding from you. Also, OP, I think your story is complete bullshit. I mean, how did you even know her passcode if her phone is off limits and she's constantly hiding it from you? But if it's real, go tell her damn family. Don't be a pussy. What, are you still trying to protect her privacy? Donut. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.